No one saw it coming. The Galactic Council's decision came like a thunderbolt. In a single day, all human colonies, ships, and space stations were given a message. You are to leave the galaxy. Immediately. Earth is banished. You are no longer welcome. There was no trial. No explanation. Just exile. Captain Lyra Morgan stood on the bridge of the UNS Vigilant, her face frozen in shock. Around her, the crew stared at the message repeating on every screen. Red letters, cold voice, no emotion. She turned to her second-in-command, Commander Juno. Is this real? Juno nodded slowly. Every human system is receiving the same order, and Council fleets are moving in to enforce it. Earth's diplomats tried to speak, to ask why, to beg for time. But the Council never answered. Within 72 hours, Earth's access to stargates, wormholes, and trade networks was cut off. Patrol. Drones blocked every route. Friends from other species went silent. Some even turned hostile. Earth was now alone. A galaxy turns its back. The Council claimed it was for the safety of the galaxy, but no one said what the danger was. Humanity had always played fair, traded honestly, helped during wars, sent aid during famines. So why now? Whispers spread among the humans. Some believed it was fear, others thought it was jealousy. Humans had grown strong, too fast. A few said something darker, that the Council had seen something they didn't understand, something on Earth. Whatever the truth was, humanity had no choice. They left. Thousands of ships began the Great Retreat. Colonies were abandoned. Cities in the stars were shut down. Even Mars, Luna, and Europa were emptied. The great human fleet moved silently, heading beyond the known stars. The last goodbye, from her ship's window, Captain Lyra watched Earth shrink into the distance. It was blue, bright, and full of life. Home. She whispered, "They don't know what they've done." Behind her, Juno asked, "Where do we go now?" Lyra didn't answer at first. Then she said, "Far. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere they won't find us, but we won't forget." And they didn't. The human race vanished into the dark edges of the universe. 6 months later, a science station on the planet Elyon 9 sent out a distress signal. The message was brief. Gravity anomalies, blackouts, something is wrong. We need help. Then silence. When the Council's inspection ship arrived, they found the station completely empty. No signs of battle, no bodies, just a single line carved into the metal wall. You broke the balance. The Council said it was a hoax. But it wasn't the last. Soon, other strange events began. An entire moon disappeared from its orbit near the Zetan system. 3 AI-controlled mining stations went offline and began speaking in ancient Earth languages. Trade between. Major Council races dropped 17% in one cycle. Technology started to glitch. Still, no one mentioned Earth. One whisper, one warning on a cold world near the edge of Council space, a historian named Taryn Vell uncovered a sealed file from an old Earth Council meeting 15 years before the exile. It was labeled Project Lockstone, Eyes Only, Human Access Level 9. Taryn wasn't supposed to see it, but he was curious, and he opened it. The file showed a simple warning from Earth scientists. There is something ancient beneath Earth's crust. We have locked it away. If disturbed, it will reach beyond this world. The file ended with these words: Earth is not dangerous. Earth is the gate, we are the lock. Taryn stared at the message, heart pounding. He closed the file. Then he sent one quiet message to the Council. I believe we made a mistake. He was never heard from again. A silent explosion. Far from any sun or planet, in the dead zone near, Sector 12F, a quiet star suddenly exploded. No warning, no natural cause. The star had been stable for millions of years, but now, gone. Only a black void remained. Council scientists rushed to explain it, but nothing made sense. On the same day, every human-made satellite still in Council territory began to send out the same message. We were the balance. You pushed us away. Now it begins. The fear begins. At the center of the galaxy, in the Council's shining city of Lurion, the High Elders gathered in secret. Elder Varek, an old being with 5 eyes and silver skin, spoke first. We thought humans were the threat, he said. But now, something stirs in the void, Elder Chiron whispered. Did we banish the protectors instead of the danger? They looked at one another, but none had answers. Only one thing was clear. The stars were changing, and they were changing fast. In the shadows, in a distant corner of the universe, far from the Council's eyes, a massive human ship floated in, silence. Its name was hidden, its signal dark, its weapons ready. Inside, Captain Lyra stood in front of a dark screen. On it, thousands of dots blinked, each one a place where the galaxy was breaking down. She turned to her crew. Her voice was calm but sharp. They thought they could banish us, but they never asked what we were holding back. A younger officer looked up. Do we go back? Lyra smiled, cold and quiet. No, not yet. Let them feel it. Let them understand what happens when they break the lock. Silence. That's what remained after humans left. No war, no threats, no final words. Just silence. But that silence began to speak in strange ways. A broken network, in the busy trade routes of the Varn sector, ships began to report malfunctions. Navigation systems went dark. Artificial gravity flickered. Some ships drifted into empty space and never returned. Captain Krail of the merchant ship Celera was one of the first to notice something strange. His ship crossed the same route for years, but this time the jump gate didn't activate. His engineer checked everything. The systems were fine. The fuel was full. Then the gate suddenly powered up without being touched. It opened for exactly 6 seconds. Just long enough to hear a whisper over the radio. A human voice. We are still here. Krell's crew stared at each other. They were thousands of light years from any known human system. And yet, the voice sounded fresh, alive, close, a dead. World wakes up in the shadow of a gas giant called Veltris 5. There was once a human colony, New Bastion. After the exile, the Council sealed it off. No ships were allowed near. The city was shut down, power off, air gone. But a patrol drone flew by last week and sent back strange data. The city had lights, not flickering, not broken. Bright, controlled, alive. The patrol returned with video. It showed streets glowing, windows lit, and even shadows moving inside the buildings. Yet according to records, no humans remained. The Council sent a scout team. They found the city empty. No humans, no signs of recent life. But on every screen inside the colony, one sentence was written. We never left. We only stepped away. Fear among the Council. The High Council met in private once more. The room was quiet, tense. Elder Varek looked around the table. We are seeing more strange events. Ships vanishing, systems failing, cities waking up. Elder Kralis hissed. And always, there is a trace of them. No one said the word humans, but everyone thought it. A young scientist stepped forward. Her name was Saya. She held a datapad in shaking hands. She spoke in a soft voice. We studied 43 council systems. All of them once had strong human presence, trade, science, diplomacy. Since the exile, all are unstable. Elder Chiron asked, Are you saying humans were stabilizing them? Saya nodded. Maybe not on purpose, but their presence balanced things. Silence fell again. Elder Varric finally said what no one else would. Then perhaps, in banishing them, we broke the galaxy itself. A strange rescue. In the cold nebula of Orion's Hook, a council warship sent out a distress signal. Pirates had attacked, engines were failing, life support was almost gone. Then, without warning, the pirates' ships exploded, instantly and without a trace. The crew expected help from nearby council forces. But what arrived wasn't council, it was a black warship. Unmarked, silent. No transmission, no symbols, only a single message appeared on the warship's screen. We protect what you abandoned. Then the warship vanished into deep space. The engineer's warning: an old Varn engineer named Doro once worked on human ships. He was retired now, living in a quiet system. When news of these strange events reached him, he told his children something they didn't expect. I always said human tech was odd, like it wasn't just machines. It had purpose, like their ships were listening. His daughter laughed. Ships don't think. Doro shook his head. Their ships did. Their systems had code no one could crack. We used it. We copied it. But we never understood it. Then he looked toward the sky. And now they're waking up. A secret lab speaks on. A hidden council research base. Scientists had kept one thing after the exile. A small human device. It was just a cube, no markings, no power source. For 5 years, it did nothing, but last week it activated, lights blinked, symbols glowed. The cube spoke. You pushed the lock. You broke the seal. It is coming. Then the cube melted into dust. No heat, no radiation, just gone. The scientists who saw it were placed under silence orders, but rumors spread fast, and fear spread faster. The message repeats across dozens of worlds. Strange messages began to appear on broken satellites, in ancient ruins, in failed machines. All said the same thing. We held the shadows back. Now, the shadows move. Some begin to regret. In hidden corners of the galaxy, a few races began to speak. The Tharn diplomat Jolvin said on a pirate broadcast, "The humans may not have been the enemy. Perhaps we were blind. Perhaps they were guarding us from something older." Others agreed. Small secret meetings were held. Whispers spread. Should we find them? Will they help us? Do they want to? Meanwhile, in the dark far away, on a forgotten planet with no name, Captain Lyra stood in front of a large map of the galaxy. Red zones blinked, dozens of them, each one a place where reality was bending, where rules of physics were breaking. She turned to her crew. "Are the council noticing yet?" Her tech officer nodded. "They're afraid. They don't understand." Lyra's eyes were cold. "They don't need to understand." She paused. "They just need to remember. The galaxy thought it was done with humanity." But then a signal appeared. It came from the edge of space, far beyond known star systems, a place where nothing lived, no planets, no trade routes, no stations, just black, empty space. And in that, silence. The signal played. A ghost in the dark. It started with a routine scan. A small listening post called Echo Station 91 picked up the strange transmission. The signal was old, broken, and full of static. But one word kept repeating. Earth. The station's crew, a group of bored scientists and techs, ran it through every filter they had. The message grew clearer. Then the voice came through. It was human, a woman's voice. Calm, steady, tired. "This is the UNS Mercy. Final transmission. If you hear this, we are the last. Earth is silent. The stars are cold, but we still remember." The message ended there. Then 5 seconds of silence and a final whisper. "They told us to leave. Now, we're watching." The station's commander, a Lakari named Solvrin, froze in place. "This message is over 200 years old," he said. But the signal, it's new. The council responds. When the council heard about the signal, panic spread in quiet halls. A vote was held in secret. They decided to erase all copies, destroy the message, silence the station. But it was too late. The message had already spread to hundreds of systems. It played on hacked comm towers, pirate radio channels, even inside civilian comms, everywhere. The man who chased ghosts, an old alien named Professor Vin, had studied humans for decades. After their exile, he lost everything: funding, respect, his university title. They called him the Human Obsessive. But now people listened to him again. He played the signal in front of a crowd on a Shadow Network news channel. "I've studied the voice," he said. "It belongs to Captain Maris Soren. She disappeared 213 years ago with her crew on a ship called UNS Mercy." The host asked, "But how can she be transmitting now?" Vin looked into the camera. "She can't. That ship was declared lost in a warp accident. But the signal is real, which means either," he paused, "either someone is using her voice, or humans have returned." A dead ship speaks. In a lonely stretch of space near the old Vexari ruins, a cargo hauler picked up something strange, a massive human ship, derelict, burned, floating for who knows how long. The crew of the hauler boarded it, looking for tech to salvage. What they found was terrifying. The walls were covered in handwritten words, in dozens of languages, all saying the same thing: "We warned them." In the command room, the AI system activated. It spoke in a low, broken voice. "This is Earth's memory. They broke the balance. The Watchers awaken." Then the ship powered down and vanished, disappeared in front of their eyes. Gone. The hauler crew barely escaped. Eyes turned toward Earth. Though it was forbidden, some dared to scan Earth again. They expected silence. What they found was static. The entire solar system was now surrounded by a strange energy field. No ships could pass through it. No probes returned, but inside the static, one sound remained constant. A heartbeat, a slow, deep, endless thump, 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 thump. It wasn't mechanical, it wasn't natural, it sounded alive. Humanity's shadow moves back in deep space. In a secret place far from council maps, Captain Lyra stood in a dark room filled with screens. On each screen, the signal played, again and again. "This is the UNS Mercy. Earth is silent." "We still remember." Lyra didn't speak for a long time. Finally, she said, "Activate the relay beacons." Her officer looked surprised. "Are we sure, Captain?" She nodded. "Yes. Let them hear our voice again." "But why now?" Lyra stepped toward the large central screen, where Earth's silent blue shape shimmered beyond the static wall. She whispered, "Because they forgot who we were. And now, we remind them." Something was wrong with the universe. At first, it was small things: missing signals, weak engines, failed warp jumps. But now, entire star systems were acting strange. Planets off their paths. The first big event happened in the Cerealis system. A planet called Garnex 3, home to over 4 million beings, suddenly shifted its orbit. No warning. The planet moved 800 kilometers closer to its sun in just 3 days. No gravity weapon, no meteor strike, no logical cause. The council sent engineers and scientists. They all gave the same answer: this should be impossible. But it was only the beginning. Machines begin to disobey. In the Tarnis zone, mining bots stopped following orders. They shut down on their own, then restarted using old human code no one had used for over a century. One bot carved this into the wall of a mining station. The code remembers: the balance is broken. In the Ryloth Spire, AI in a hospital began speaking in a human voice. The same sentence kept repeating, Without the lock, the doors will not stay closed. The council tried to cover it up, but news spread. Fast. The panic grows. Elder Varek stood inside the council chamber, looking at the disaster reports. A dozen systems offline, stargates refusing to activate, ships getting lost in jumps, never arriving. He looked at the others around the table. This is not just random failure. This is collapse. Elder Chiron whispered. It started when we removed Earth. No one argued. They knew the truth now. But they didn't know what to do. Calling the exiled in. Secret. The council sent a message into the void. A one-line transmission. If you are still out there, help us. No reply came. Just silence. But in the dark corners of space, someone had heard it. The stars. Tremble in the Quarn belt. A star began to pulse. Not shine. Pulse. Like a heart. Light expanded and shrank every 6 seconds. Nearby ships experienced hallucinations. One pilot saw human faces outside his window, smiling without eyes. Another heard whispers in a lost language. Ancient Earth tongues no one had spoken in 1,000 years. He screamed over the comms. They're not gone! They're in the light! Then the transmission ended. His ship was later found, empty. Inside a dead Planet A research team on Veltran 6, a world abandoned long ago, made a chilling discovery. Deep underground, they found an ancient device. Human-made, but it was embedded in stone older than recorded history. The device activated, on touch and spoke. This place was sealed before the stars were born. You should not be here. The team tried to leave. Only 2 survived. They said the ground itself moved. That something ancient stirred below. The council shut down the site. Too late. Lyra watches the collapse on board. The hidden human ship Obsidian. Spear Captain Lyra watched the galaxy fall apart from a distance. Red dots blinked across her galactic map, each one a sign of failure, instability, or chaos. She stood still, arms crossed, face unreadable. Her officer asked, "Should we step in?" Lyra shook her head. "Not yet, but people are dying." She looked at him. And where was their mercy? When they exiled us, no one answered. The room was quiet. Then a sound played over the speakers. A voice. "Council transmission. Help us, please. We are breaking." Lyra smiled. They finally understand. Far from the chaos, a group of council scientists gathered in an underground lab. They had a single human artifact left, a glowing orb sealed in crystal. It began to hum. It cracked the crystal. Then it spoke in a deep human voice. "The key is Earth. You locked the gate. Now open it, or lose everything." The lab shook. Lights exploded. One scientist screamed, "It's too late!" But another whispered, "No, it's a warning, not a punishment." For 20 years, no one had entered Earth's space. The Council had declared it a dead zone. All routes were blocked. All maps marked it as forbidden. Any ship caught near was destroyed or disappeared. But one smuggler didn't care. The smuggler. Who didn't fear? His name was Rocco Nesh, a former pilot turned outlaw. He had nothing to lose. His crew was gone. His ship, Ghost Dancer, was old, broken, and slow, but it still flew. He had heard the rumors, voices in the void, ships lost near Sol, and human warships moving like shadows. He wanted to know the truth, and he wanted to see Earth, not for profit. Not for power, just to know. Crossing the line, Rocco entered the forbidden zone quietly. No alarms, no council drones, just silence and static. His ship began to shake, even though nothing touched it. The stars around him seemed to bend, as if watching. The computer's voice glitched. It whispered, "Return, or see what sleeps." Rocco ignored it. He pushed forward, and then he saw it. The Ghost Fleet, dozens of massive warships floated around Earth. They weren't council ships. They were human, but different. Each one was dark, black metal. No lights. Their surfaces moved like liquid, even though they were solid. Some looked damaged, but none looked dead. They just waited. Rocco gasped. This is a fleet. But it was more than that. It was a warning. Earth behind the curtain. Then he saw Earth, still blue, still green, still alive, but wrapped in a shimmering energy field. The barrier pulsed with light, like a heart. Inside, storms moved in patterns. Clouds shaped like eyes. He tried to scan it. His systems failed, tried to record. The data wiped itself. He stared in awe, and then a voice spoke. The human voice. Returns a voice, clear and calm, filled his ship. It was human. You came, uninvited. Rocco swallowed hard. I just wanted to see. I mean, no harm. The voice did not threaten. It did not shout. It simply said, "We are not your enemy, but we are no longer your shield." Then silence. All systems rebooted. His ship turned around on its own. It flew away from Earth. Fast. The Council intercepts. Him hours later, outside the Forbidden Zone, a Council warship stopped him. They pulled him aboard, interrogated him. "What? Did you see?" they demanded. Rocco only said one thing. "You made a mistake." They jailed him. But before they could silence him forever, his message was leaked. A recording made from his ship's last audio. "They told you to leave them. You forced them to leave. Now, they are awake." Whispers spread like fire all across the galaxy. People began to talk. Pirates avoided human space completely. Traders refused council escort near the Sol border. Old Earth allies, like the Irani and Vorn, began to question the exile, and in council chambers, fear grew like a storm. Elder Varric slammed his fist on the table. "We pushed them out to protect ourselves." Elder Chiron replied, "Or did we push away the only thing holding the universe together?" Lyra watches from the shadows. In the dark of deep space, Captain Lyra sat in her command chair. She had watched Rocco's approach. She had allowed it. Beside her, her officer asked, "Why? Let him live?" She replied, "He was brave. Curious. The galaxy needs that again." The officer nodded. "And now?" Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Now. We remind them what they lost." She pressed a button. A signal went out. It reached hidden human colonies across unknown stars. The words were few. Begin the return. The truth was never meant to be known. The Council told the galaxy that Earth was dangerous, but that was not the full truth, not even close. The hidden file. Inside the Council archives, deep below the main chambers, a secret chamber held files never shown to the public. Only the High Elders had access. But one man broke the rules. His name was Aaron Tal, a junior records officer. Curious, quiet, and very, very smart. He had heard the whispers. Earth held something strange. So he searched, and he found File 7X, Project Lockstone. He opened it. What he read changed everything. The forgotten meeting. The file contained recordings from 115 years ago. It showed a meeting between Earth's top scientists and Council elders. The humans looked serious. One spoke calmly. "We found something under Earth's crust, deep, alive. It's older than human civilization, maybe older than the stars." The elders laughed at first, but then the human placed something on the table. A glowing black shard. The shard made the room shake. Even in the recording, Aaron felt the air change. The human said, "We built tech around it, locked it in layers of energy and matter. It's trapped, but not forever." An elder asked, "What happens if it escapes?" The human didn't blink. "Then not just Earth, but the whole galaxy will unravel. The Council's choice." Another part of the file showed later events. The Council had voted. Instead of helping Earth contain the threat, they decided to exile them. Their reason? If the threat is sealed on Earth, then we banish Earth. Let it stay, buried. Let humanity disappear with it. Some elders protested, others stayed silent. The final vote was clear: exile humanity. Keep the secret. The memory erased to keep control, the Council used advanced memory blockers. Historians, scientists, and even soldiers who knew the truth were silenced or erased. Only the elders remembered, and over time, even they began to forget. But the file remained, hidden. Until now. Iran escapes. Iran knew what he found was dangerous. He copied the file to a small drive and ran. Guards chased him. He used secret tunnels to escape the archives and sent a short message across a hidden network. Earth was not the danger. Earth was the shield. Then he vanished. Some say he died. Others believe the humans found him first. The Council reacts. When the leak spread, the Council panicked. They released a statement. Fake news, old data, human lies. But no one believed them. Too many strange things had already happened. Too many systems were failing. Too many signals now said the same thing. The lock is broken. A broken alliance. Allies of the Council began to doubt. The Tharn, the Irani, and even parts of the Zenth. Empire demanded answers. They asked, if Earth was hiding the danger, why did you exile them? The Council gave no answer. Some races left the alliance. Others prepared for war. The Council was falling apart. From the inside. Lyra reveals the truth in deep space. Captain Lyra stood before a dark screen. Behind her, her crew watched as the old Earth Council file played. She turned to her officers. Now they know why we left, she said. Now they understand what we were holding back. Her weapons officer asked, do we return? Lyra nodded. Not for revenge, not for war. We return because the galaxy needs balance, she paused. And because it's coming. Something was moving through the stars. It could not be seen, but it could be heard. Whispers, echoes, faint voices calling from nowhere, and they all said the same thing. You should not have moved the seal. The ghost signal in Sector 4 Delta. A mining ship called Stella Ray picked up a strange signal. At first it sounded like static. Then, a voice. Don't look at the stars. They are watching you. The captain thought it was a joke. Until his crew began to scream. They said they heard their own voices, whispering secrets no one else knew. Then the power failed. When the Council sent a rescue team, the ship was empty. Not destroyed. Just abandoned, but the whisper still echoed in the ship's comms. The door is open. The Zenth break away. On Zenth Prime, the High Commanders watched the signal logs. They saw similar reports coming from all over the galaxy, the Car system, the Drylos Belt, and even the quiet moons of Vera 6. All had the same pattern. Static. A whisper. A disappearance. Zenth leaders called an emergency meeting. They voted to leave the Council. They blamed the Council for ignoring Earth's warning. They called the whispers a star plague. But it was not a plague. It was something older. Something angry. Lyra's nightmare captain. Lyra, now aboard the human ship Verdict, woke in terror. She had seen a dream. No, a memory. Not hers. But something ancient. She saw Earth long ago. A massive gate deep inside its core. Glowing. Locked. And something behind it. Something that moved like smoke, but thought like a god. She heard it speak. Not in words, but in emotions. Rage. Betrayal. Hunger. Then she saw stars falling, worlds burning, and Earth shining like a shield, holding it all back until the Council removed it. She woke up sweating, and her ship's AI said, "Captain, unknown signal detected." "It's whispering your name." Council in chaos. Back in the council chamber, the elders were lost. Planets were pulling out of the alliance. Trade routes were closing. Warships were going dark. One elder shouted, "It's Earth's fault." Another whispered, "No, it was ours." A secret message came to the chamber from a hidden human channel. It simply said, "We told you. You didn't listen. Now listen to the stars." The screen blacked out. Then the room filled with a low hum. Not from speakers. From the air itself, a whisper, right next to every elder's ear, and it said, "We remember what you did," everywhere at once. In the next 2 days, more than 20 ships vanished. Not destroyed, just gone. Only one recording survived. It showed a shadow sweeping across space, huge, slow, and soundless. Then, whispers. And silence. The file ended. The ship never responded again. The human response Lyra contacted other exiled human fleets. Her voice was calm but sharp. "It has started. The seal is broken. The old thing is awake. We must return, not to attack, but to rebuild the shield." A pilot asked, "Will the galaxy help us?" Lyra shook her head. "No. They're too busy listening to the whispers." The stars were growing darker. Worlds were falling silent. Something old had awakened, and only Earth held the answers. The forbidden world. The humans had left Earth 100 years ago. After the Council's exile, no ship was allowed near it. Satellites had been destroyed. Jump gates were closed. Earth had become a myth. But now, they had to return. Captain Lyra stood on the bridge of the verdict. Behind her, 3 human warships floated in silence. Ahead of them was the dark planet, blue and quiet, but it was watching. Landing on the ghost world, as Lyra's ship descended through the clouds, the crew stayed silent. No humans had landed here in decades, but the systems were still working. Satellites came online, drones powered up. Even the atmosphere felt maintained. Lyra whispered, "It's like Earth was waiting for us." The deep vault, they landed near a broken city once called Geneva. Nature had taken over. But under the ruins, they found an entrance, steel doors, locked by ancient code. The AI decrypted it using a human war song. The doors opened. Inside, they found the vault, a hidden base built before the exile. The vault was full of data and warnings, the hidden truth. Inside the vault was a recording. Human scientist appeared on screen, her face pale and tired. She said, "If you are seeing this, then the seal is broken. The Council did not listen. But long ago, we found something in deep space, something ancient, something alive. We called it the Void Entity. It feeds on thought, on fear. We locked it away, but it always whispers." Then her voice broke. "If Earth is awakened, run." A new signal. Lyra looked at the others. She said, "We didn't just return for answers. We returned to stop it." The vault held one final project. Project Hades, a weapon built in secret. Too dangerous to use, but now it might be the only hope. They activated the system. Earth itself came alive. Satellites moved. Old human war satellites blinked online. The sky shimmered with energy. Earth was waking up. The Council watches far across. The galaxy, Council spies saw Earth glow. The AI of the Zorith species said, "The exile failed. Earth lives." Another voice said, "We made a mistake. We feared the humans. But now, we fear what only they can stop." An omen. Appears, suddenly, a black shape appeared above Earth. Not a ship, not a moon, a shadow. It didn't block light. It drank it. The stars behind it vanished. The AI whispered, "The void has arrived." The stars screamed. The void had come, and Earth had awakened. The first strike. Above Earth, space was no longer empty. Black clouds swirled in silence. From that darkness, a single spear of energy fired toward the planet. It moved faster than light. But Earth responded. Satellites formed a glowing shield, ancient human tech powered by forgotten science. The spear struck the shield and shattered. For the first time, the void met resistance. The Hades system activates deep beneath Earth's surface. Giant machines rumbled. The Hades core, the weapon of last resort, lit up. Red light pulsed through underground tunnels. Towers rose from old cities. Antennas turned to the sky. A global network activated, controlled by a human AI long thought destroyed. Its voice echoed across every channel. Humanity rejected, humanity remembered. Defensive systems online, the war. Begins. Captain Lyra gave the command. All ships, fire! 3 human warships launched hundreds of missiles into orbit. They didn't aim to destroy the void. They aimed to wake up Earth. Every missile hit hidden beacons across the globe. With each strike, Earth's true power returned. Storms gathered. Magnetic fields bent unnaturally. Old weather control systems lit up. The Earth was no longer just a planet. It was becoming a weapon. The void changes. Then the void responded. From the darkness, shapes formed. Not ships, not machines. Living shadows. They twisted like smoke but moved with purpose. They fell toward Earth like falling stars. Where they landed, life began to rot. Forests withered. Skies cracked with red lightning. One shadow hit the ocean. And the sea began to boil. The human counterattack. But the humans were ready. Project Hades launched its final phase. 10 towers across the Earth rose and connected by plasma bridges. From the core of the planet, a beam of pure light shot into space. It didn't destroy the void, but it hurt it. The shadows screamed. Some dissolved instantly. Others fled back into the dark. For the first time, the void felt pain. Council regrets on a distant world. The Galactic Council watched in horror. A Zorith elder spoke. We banished Earth, and now only Earth can stop the end. Another whispered, should we send help? A third said, too late. We abandoned them, and they became stronger without us. Earth's message, then across the stars, Earth sent a single message. We don't need forgiveness. We don't want allies. Stay out of our way. This is humanity's fight. And the Council finally understood. They had not banished the humans. They had freed them. The void retreats, for now. The void pulled back. It wasn't defeated, but it was afraid, and it had never felt fear before. Captain Lyra stood on the bridge and watched the black clouds break apart. She said softly, we're not done yet. This was just the first round. The stars had gone quiet. The war was not over, but something far worse was coming. And only Earth knew the truth. A dead star speaks. Far beyond the galaxy's edge, a dead star flickered. Its light had died 1 billion years ago, but now it pulsed again. Human sensors picked up the signal. It wasn't random. It was a message. Captain Lyra read the decoded text out loud. You awakened the old one. It is coming. You must not follow the void. Everyone on the bridge froze. The void was just a shadow. But something bigger had been behind it all along. Earth's secret history in a hidden chamber under Antarctica. The oldest human AI activated. Its name was Progenitor. It spoke in a voice that shook the sky. Long ago, before Earth joined the stars, we fought the old one. We won, but only by sacrificing half our kind. The Council never knew. We erased our own history to protect the universe. Now the old one was waking. and the humans were the only ones who remembered how to stop it. A council in panic, the Galactic Council, gathered for an emergency meeting. The Zorith, the Varn, the Sullen, all panicked. They argued, blamed, shouted. Humans weren't invited, but that didn't matter, because Earth sent them a final transmission. You banished us. Now your safety depends on us. Stay back. This war is not for you. The final weapon beneath the Sahara Desert, the final human weapon waited. It was not a ship. It was a gate, a portal to the edge of space-time, a place where light dies, and even gravity fails. There, the Old One waited, half awake, half dreaming. The gate opened, and 3 human ships entered, carrying the last hope of the galaxy. Into the void beyond. The journey was short and terrifying. Space twisted. Time bent. Memories bled into light. Then they saw it, a shape too big for thought, a form older than stars. The Old One opened a single eye, and a scream echoed across the galaxy. Billions of beings fell silent. Some died instantly. Others just forgot how to speak. Humanity's final stand. The human ships did not flee. They attacked, not with weapons, but with light, sound, thought, and memory. The Old One tried to devour them, but it had forgotten something. Humans don't give up, even when facing gods, especially then. Captain Lyra activated the core. A blinding light exploded, and the Old One vanished, not destroyed, but sealed again by human hands, returned to silence. The gate closed. The ships never came back, but Earth was safe. The stars calmed. The void retreated, and the council remained silent. They had learned their lesson. They never spoke against Earth again.